Hello, everybody. My name is James. Welcome to another Planet FPL Clash of the Correspondents. And I'm heading down to the South Coast this weekend. Let me firstly introduce you to our Brighton and Hove Albion correspondent. It's Sam Murray. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. Hi, everyone. Hope you're all good. Thank you for having me back on, James. Even though I think I recommended Barco in pre-season, but it's all history now.
I, I'd forgotten about that. Or I noticed the official FPL account didn't forget about that today. We're tweeting pictures of him. I asked them if they were having a slow news day. And our Tottenham Hotspur correspondent, Ricky Saunders, is in. How are you, Ricky?
I was all right until he mentioned Barco, because I was one of the sorry sods that transferred him in. So never mind. But yeah, other than that, I'm all right. Yeah, tough.
Is he still there, Ricky?
No, he went on my very poorly played wild card. Um, that I look at my team now and I actually want to play another wild card. And I've got about 18 weeks until I can. But never mind, it's fine.
We won't mention Ricky's rank because no one can count that high, I don't think.
You take all of the Patreons and you count all of their fingers and all of their toes, and you can invite all their family and all their friends. We wouldn't have enough.
Don't worry, Ricky. We know it will come good, as it will for Sam. Sam, I take it Barco's not in your squad now, is he?
No, no, long gone.
It's a good place to start, though, isn't it? Actually, on reflection, what happened there? Because I know a lot of the Brighton fans within the community who seem to be getting a bit of the elbow for thinking that he was going to play regularly. You all did, and every all of us kind of bought into the idea. So what happened? What changed? Do you think? How did we all misread it? I guess.
Yeah, I, there was a few things before the deadline which it put me off a little. We signed Kadioglu, and then the Stupinan being back in training as well. But we all thought Stupinan would be eased back in, which he has. He's only just starting to get some games now. I think the main thing was we didn't realise how much Hurzeler would love Jack Hinchelwood, and he's just such a big fan of Hinchelwood. Didn't expect him to start in game week 1 at all. He barely had a pre-season. I think he played two halves in pre-season after missing the previous 4 5 months for injury. So it was completely out of nowhere. I would never have predicted him to start game week 1. And Hurst loves him. Yeah, he's been in every lineup. He tries to get him in there any way he can. So that put Barco one more space away from starting. This was better off to send him out on loan to Spain.
Okay. What have you made of Hertzler so far?
Um, it's been it's been good. Like you said on Monday's pod, I think the honeymoon period is over now. The last couple of weeks haven't been great. We've had a few injuries popping up, and we're going into a tough run now. But with that being said, I'm happy where we are. 9 points from the first six with a new manager, new system, probably about par, maybe even a point ahead of where I expected. I didn't really expect us to get those 2 wins to begin the season. Um, yeah, we've seen enough football now. We're starting to learn how he plays, the strengths and the weaknesses, and I'm hoping he's learned from, especially last week. But
Oh, I don't.
yeah, it's been good so far. It's been okay.
It felt like a bit of a slap Saturday at Stamford Bridge, and yet that was your first defeat, right? It's like
Yeah,
it's almost like that's forgotten already. I mean, actually, when I reflected on and listened, you're thinking and saying, "Yeah, I did say honeymoon period's over." They've lost one game. Like it's like the world's come to an end. It's not quite that, is it?
no, no. Well, yeah, we had a good start, and then the Ipswich and Forest games, we probably wanted 4 points from them. If that's kind of what I was expecting. So two draws there was a bit disappointing, but then the Chelsea game, yeah, it all came crashing down in the first half.
Were you at Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, yeah, I was there.
Can I ask off piece your opinion on Cole Palmer as you were there, and all them four goals would have been at your end?
Yeah, very very good. He was brilliant. Similar to how we went there in the first season or two in the Premier League, how Eden Hazard played, and it was just kind of it's just everywhere. Every time someone played a pass, if it wasn't him playing a pass, it would just end up at his feet, and you knew he was gonna do something with it. He was very good. He wasn't unstoppable. We probably could have done more to stop him. We did make it very easy, but he could have scored more than four. He was good.
So what was it that you made so easy for him?
It was well. I think the main thing this week has been this high line, and we've played this high line all season, and it's scary. even when it works, because it has to be perfect. And the offsides, if we get it right, are marginal, and it's a difficult thing to pull off. And it worked against United, although they got through a few times and they had that kind of Xerxes Garnacho offside, which would have put us 2-1 down, could have been a different story there. And against Ipswich and Forest, they're going to sit back. So I kind of get that, put a bit of pressure on the back line. I get the risk versus reward there. But against Chelsea, it was self-destruction. It was playing a high line like that against their front line. It was just never going to end well, especially with Duncan Webster. Even if we had Van Heck in there, it would have been better. He was a big miss, but even if we had him in there, it was just every time they got the ball, our defensive line was on the halfway line, and suddenly they were through again. Hurzeler did say that none of the goals were due to the high line, which is true. It was 2 individual mistakes, a penalty, and a free kick, which was taken about 10 yards closer to goal than it should have been. But
he probably still would have scored, Sam.
Yeah. All he has to do is watch back that first half, though. It was carnage. It could have been 7. Naivety, maybe. I don't know. Just hope he learns from it. It's definitely a learning curve. But yeah, that high line was scary. Going in at half time, and it was 4-2, and we were thinking it could have been 7.
I get a bit tired of this naivety word. I think we suffer with it a lot, don't we, Ricky? This, Tottenham are too aggressive, they're too offensive, they're naive. And people, Ricky, do they mistake naivety and bravery? Because it's not like Sam's team didn't go there with a plan and a structure; it just didn't work, right?
Yeah, I think that look, we've had. It used to annoy me that we were called bottlers, right? We lost a game of football. We didn't bottle it. We lost a game of football that we probably shouldn't have won. And the same thing with this now. It's naivety. Spurs are very naive. They're very silly for doing. No, we've got a philosophy. We've got a style of play. We play that way. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But the manager is not going to change what he wants to do just because the media choose to use certain words or opposition fans do the same. And yeah, it's the only naivety is coming from the people that can't see what he's trying to
do. Was it naive at Old Trafford on Sunday?
Don't think so. I think that worked pretty well, in all honesty.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling after that?
After that, yeah. Well, it's only United, isn't it? So let's not get carried away. But no, we looked brilliant. United helped us to look as good as we did, but there was just some individual performances as well that were just top notch, absolutely brilliant. I couldn't. Well, I could pick one player out for ridicule, but I won't. I'll let Timo Werner off this week.
Please do, Ricky.
Yeah, no, I will do. But no, look, individual performances. We did speak, but the Coventry game for me was a particularly low point. That was as bad as I think I've ever seen us play. It was terrible, absolutely awful football, and I've never been as down, certainly on Ange, as I have been since. And look, it wasn't really it was his fault, but it was that wasn't his team. That was some of his players and some fringe players, but the fringe players that day at least didn't seem to get it. They didn't understand what we're about and how we're meant to be playing. And then since then, it's really kicked in. And how I feel about my club then to now is night and day. The last couple of games, especially, Brentford onwards, what he's been trying to do for the last 15 months, you can now see it. You've seen flashes of it at certain parts in games last year. Now you're seeing it for sustained periods, entire halves, 60, 70 minutes of a game. And it's beautiful to watch, and it's really encouraging. And there'll be a lot of teams out there that don't want to play Tottenham on a Saturday afternoon.
So go back a few weeks. Tottenham went to Newcastle, dominated the game, but kind of struggled ultimately to create the best chances in the game. The Arsenal game was a similar pattern, not in terms of overall kind of dominance, but struggling to create chances. That was the thing. That night at Coventry, in the first half, our team, Ricky, didn't even have a shot. And actually, 1-0 down, it was a miracle that when we equalised that we were only 1-0 down. That's how bad we were. And the biggest problem was creation of chances. Yet the 3 games since, you've gone from not being able to basically have a shot against Coventry for like an hour to creating 9 big chances at Old Trafford like 11 days later. How does that happen?
Well, I don't know if maybe Ange and the team heard me, and most Tottenham fans as well. I'm watching a commentary game. I was have a fucking shot. Will somebody please get it into the box? We're pissing around with it on the edge of the box, tippy tappy, backwards and forwards, doing nothing with
You
it.
sound like you want George Graham back, mate.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to revisit them days anytime soon. We won a trophy though, so it's not all bad. But yeah, it's literally, can we please do something? All this possession, we're in the final third, we're camped on the edge of the box, doing nothing with it. And United, the first goal against United, especially, bam, direct, get in there. I mean, Van der Ven, he did things that not many players can do. Certainly not many centre backs anyway. But the ball went into the box, it went across the box, went into the goal, and it's just more decisive play. What we do, pass it out from the back and in midfield, and that's fine. But in that final third, we've got to be more decisive, get that ball in quick, and that's what we've done the last few games, and that's made a world of difference.
Yeah, speed is the biggest thing that's
Yeah,
changed for me.
we've got
Speed.
bags of speed. We can outrun pace wise pretty much every team in the Premier League, and we don't use it. We just powering it around the edge of the box. We were anyway. That seems to have changed a bit now.
Okay. Sam, what's your read on Tottenham at the moment?
Well, yeah, good team. I think the way they played against Man United, but Man United down to 10, it makes the game on Sunday quite an interesting one. I think the way they press, how quick they are. Yeah, I think it's been a good enough start. I think that Man United game has probably got people. I don't know. Yeah, I said that Coventry game was an interesting one, and
Did you watch
if you went
it?
out there, no, but I came out the.
I would have turned it off if you had, mate.
It's one of them that if that goes the other way, yeah, could have started a bit of a downward spiral.
Well,
but...
yeah, Ricky, it's only 2 weeks ago. People were saying, is he the right man and all that? And again, like no one's saying it today, are they?
No, not at all. I mean, no, was not at that point and never have been an Ange out man, but that was the first game when I could have really criticised him and some of not some of the players, but him especially, because what he is doing wasn't working, and then bang, it does work. Just literally, just out of nowhere, it works and it's good.
Yeah, you're as good as your last game. Therefore, Ricky, thoughts on Brighton at the moment?
I haven't really seen a lot of Brighton this year, if I'm being honest. And you said at the start, Brighton haven't lost, and I hadn't actually realised that. Yeah, started off with the good win away at Everton, which, to be fair, at the time seemed like normal for Everton, but they're going to get better. Beat United, and then there was a couple of draw, and that's what gives me a little bit of faith actually for the weekend. What makes me more confident is that there's 2 draws against 2 teams that Brighton should be beating at home. So maybe there's something at home that's not clicking. Possibly, I don't know. But yeah, the Everton and Forest games were disappointing, result wise at least. Anyway, I've only seen highlights, so I can't really speak of the performance as a whole. But result wise, yeah, not what I'd expect from Brighton.
Is there anything in that, Sam? Because you mentioned about the Forest and Ipswich games and said you'd be looking for 4 points. And I've almost thought of interjecting saying, you're not looking for 6 there, mate.
Yeah, 4 at least. I think people wanted, yeah, 6. 6 you'd have been targeting 6, but 4 would have been reasonable. The Ipswich game, they played exactly how we thought they'd play, and there was that Matoma chance where more likely than not he scores that and we win and we go on. It becomes an easier game, a different story. The longer the game went on, the more you felt like we weren't going to get through. And to be fair, Ipswich did defend really well, and then Forest again they sat back and they got us on the counter a couple of times. There was a point just after half time when we were 2-1 up and we thought we really looked like we were going to kill the game off, and that's what it was. It was just we didn't have that final touch to make it 3-1. I think Welbeck had a chance. There's a couple of others as well, and then yeah, they equalise. 2 games that we really probably should have got 4 points. maybe 6. But yeah, to come away 2 kind of takes away from those first 2 games of the season when we got the 2 wins.
I watched the United game and I did think it was that great that day. You very easily could have lost. Actually, it wasn't kind of what I was hoping for watching the game because you'd won so well at Everton before. And I watched the Forest game as well, and I didn't think you started well at all actually in that one either. Then you got yourself in front, almost from nowhere, and then the game seemed very comfortable for you, and you could see the equalising goal almost in the manner that I guess you're now expecting is okay. The offside trap didn't work, and they're in and away and inevitably gonna score from there. I'm not seeing any of your away games, but Ricky raises a point on the home games as well because reflecting more, I'm wondering how many times I've had this conversation with you, going back to not just De Zerbi but even to Potter, and times where you'd have runs and you draw games we always expect you to win at home. Is there anything in that? Is it like almost like an expectation? Because I think like if we had it, not mean to compare the two teams, but if we had Ipswich and Forest at home, we'd be demanding 6 points, I think. And it's no disrespect to those two teams.
Yeah, and that's almost why I said 4, because we just don't seem to be. We've had it for years, like you said. The teams near the bottom, they know how to play against us, and we seem to not know how to play against them. And yeah, and then it's difficult because we should be doing a bit better there. And I think it is also a case of it's a new manager, it's a new system. When De Zerbi came in, and we had that sort of hectic 3-3, and then I think we went 3 or 4 games without scoring with him as well. And obviously he went on to we scored loads of goals with De Zerbi. So it's a case of getting used to the system and the new manager and new players. It was interesting. I had the interesting couple of games, and it's interesting moving on to that Chelsea game when we weren't favourite for the first time this season to see how we played. I think that's why there's a little bit of a worry now because sometimes with De Zerbi we wouldn't beat the teams near the bottom, but then we would turn up against the teams that would come and play against us. They'll come out and attack us. But if we're not winning those or not even competing in them games, it's going to be tricky. It's probably too early to be drawing too many conclusions, but yeah, we have struggled against teams near the bottom who come to the Amex and sit back, and I hope we figure out a way to play against those teams. I feel like I've watched those games so many times over the last few seasons. I don't want to see any more of that.
And actually, we can spin your whole season here in a narrative either way, right? Right? We can say first defeat of the season on Saturday, or we can say you've gone 4 games without a win.
Yes, yeah.
Which does it feel more like to you at the moment?
After that game at the weekend, I think in general in the fan base, it feels like 4 without a win. The way people are speaking, and like I said, the way that game played out on Saturday has been quite reactionary, and people are jumping to their conclusions and saying this and that about the system and the team. But I think that the worrying thing now is the fixtures that we're coming into as well. We've got some really tough games coming up, so it is just about getting through these next 5 or 6 games, get to that next international break, but not this one, but the one after. I think that's when our fixtures start to clear up, 12, 13, something like that, game week 12. So get through these next few games, difficult period. Hopefully we'll be all right.
I've got you bottom of my ticker over the next 5, Sam. Tottenham at home, Newcastle away, Wolves at home, Liverpool away, Manchester City at home. So bearing in mind what you said about the Ipswich Forest games, for those 5 fixtures, what's a good points return for you?
Yeah, well, for them 5, you want, if we come out with 4 points, that would be okay. A win in there against Wolves or Newcastle would be nice, and then a point anywhere else. 4 from them 5, you wouldn't be too disappointed. Anything more, and then we go into those nice green fixtures, mid-table. That's okay.
Hold on, a point anywhere else? You didn't say beat Tottenham.
No, I'm not.
Are you suggesting me, Sam, you'd be out with a draw on Sunday?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would be happy with a draw.
Would you, Ricky?
No.
Okay, that's a shift. Interestingly, go on, elaborate on that, Ricky.
No. I think you should be happy with a draw away to a team like Brighton, because Brighton are a good team, and we've been to the Amex a few times now, and it's always been a tough one for us. We've never gone there and had an easy game, and we've been beating them more often than not. but just on the back of the performance on Sunday to keep laying down that marker, we need to go there and put in a performance and get another result. Otherwise, Sunday was for nothing. We can't go there and play like we did against Arsenal or Newcastle or Leicester and have lots of the ball and do nothing with it. We've got to go there and get 3 points just to keep our foot on the throttle.
Is this a more difficult game in your opinion than Manchester United?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Why?
Because United's are. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into detail and slate United, but United are a team currently that just they've got nothing about them. There's no strategy, there's no plan, there's no philosophy. They're just 11 footballers that turn up every Saturday or Sunday and kick a ball around. Brighton as a team, it's organised, it's disciplined. We've seen it with the manager now, with De Zerbi previously, with the
Potter.
Chelsea Potter. There you go. With Potter as well. They've always got a plan. They've always got a philosophy. There's a structure. They know what they're doing. Every player knows their role. They will be organised. They'll be tough to break down. They'll move forward in numbers. They won't give us many chances. We're going to have to graft hard to create the chances. And yeah,
Is element of truth in that there, Sam, I think, in what Ricky's saying, in the sense I think it's well known and we've all known for, and I've said this several times over the last few years, if you don't prepare properly for Brighton, you're in trouble. And I don't think because you've changed managers, that's changed. And we might go to your place and we might end up winning comfortably on Sunday, but I don't think it'll be because you don't have a strategy. I just think it'll be that the strategy that you obviously implement on the day maybe doesn't work, or we have too much firepower for you maybe on the day. With that in mind, you know what else I said on Monday, don't you?
Go on.
About a certain injury doubt you've got. And it's not an injury doubt now. It's unfortunately a confirmed 6 weeks out for Jan Paul van Heck. How much of a blow is that?
Yeah, big miss. Big miss Van Heck. He has become a really, really important player. He's our best centre back. He's been crucial. And he's got a groin injury, which it sounds like he's been playing through for the last few weeks at least. And he's going to miss the next 6 weeks, which it's a big miss, and it's really disappointing. But then you talk about those fixtures, and we're not predicted to win many of them, and you've got 2 international breaks in there as well. So it's not it's not as bad as it could have been. Hopefully, we'll be back for those for those fixtures in end of November time. But a big miss, and it's not just a big miss because of what we're missing. It's what we can bring in. We've got Webster and Igor as the options at centre back. It's a big step down. If you could look at anyone in our squad where we don't have a good backup, it probably is at centre back now. Webster not quite good enough, unfortunately. Always a mistake in him, but he might have to be the one to start. And we've got Igor as well, who he's decent, but his performance away at Roma last season always sticks in my mind, and he was so bad. Maybe unfairly, but between those two, it's going to be a downgrade, and we're going to be a much weaker at back.
To come full circle, and the word naivety, some neutrals would suggest that maybe it is a bit bonkers playing such a high line with Duncan Webster as your centre backs and 2 aggressive fullbacks who want to push on. Mm-hmm. Is that a fair comment for those who might be critical or not?
I think that is fair. Again, like if we had Van Heck in there, I don't think it'd been much different. But that high line, and it's
more an ability problem than a pace problem, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think it's a good system, and I like Hurzeler. He's got his plans, he's got his idea, and it will work eventually. But it's all about getting the best out of the players we've got. And right now, he had a go against Chelsea. He went there and he tries to take the game to them, which is fine. I'm never going to be too annoyed about that. But right now, you look at the games, you look at the ability we have at the back right now, and I think you've got to make adjustments. Will have to be made now. And if he goes into the Tottenham game and plays the same way, and the same results happen, then he can probably get a little bit of criticism. But you don't know if it's going to work or not until you try it. So we'll see what happens.
Ricky, sounds like there might be some fun here for our quick boys up front.
Yeah. Our pace can really exploit that. Adam Webster, I don't believe is the quickest, most mobile centre back You've got to find, and if he plays, I think that'll put the smile on a few faces in the away dressing room. Have a little bit of fun with that, hopefully.
Can't help but make you think of Brennan Johnson, particularly.
I like Brennan Johnson.
Go on, off you go.
I said to you a while ago, and you said the same thing yourself. Brennan Johnson, and obviously we've signed Solanke since then, but I still think Brennan Johnson is our long-term centre forward. That's where he will end up playing. He's
I've
so
started
good.
seeing Dom now. I don't think that anymore.
Well, yeah, but Brennan Johnson's got age on his side. Not that Dom's old, but Brennan Johnson's a little bit younger. Look, he's so good. I think it's well known the flack that he was getting from certain dickhead fans of our club on social media. None of it deserved. Like he has bad games like any player. One thing I've never had any doubt with him is his effort. He's always trying, he's always running. It doesn't always work out for him, but he's got quality, and he's showed what 4 games in a row now. He's scored in. Good finishes as well. He's getting in some brilliant positions. He's got a real striker's know-how. Being there, arriving in the box at the right time for the cross from Van der Ven at the weekend. Yeah, he's really stepping up, and he scored a few goals last year, not many. He was mainly assists, but he's really stepped up and added goals to his game this year, and I really like him. And I think him playing out wide like he is really really good, really encouraging for us. And his speed is hard to play against with his speed.
It's like chest out when he's confident.
Yeah,
He looks taller. He looks stronger.
yeah.
I describe him a lot as timid when he's not confident. I think I could, just the way he goes into tackles isn't the same and stuff. His decision making becomes hesitant when he does things. What he essentially is rapid, right? It's so much better for him. Regular question I'm getting this week, Ricky, from a fantasy perspective. Madison 7.5, Johnson 6.4, Kulusevski 6.2. Your preference from them three?
From them three, it's not James Madison. And I know we spoke about him at the start of the season, and we said, look, he's not on it. Well, guess what? He is on it now.
Oh, he
He's
is, yeah.
back on it. He's been absolutely brilliant. But he's firing the bullets. Sorry, he's loading the gun. He's not firing the bullets. You'll get some assists. You will get the occasional goal, but not enough to warrant that price tag. I would still go, despite how brilliant he has been in the last few games, I would still go Brennan over Decky. Decky's place, believe it or not, well, as you know, it's not guaranteed in that side. Not that Brennan's is, by the way, but I think Brennan's starts are more assured, and he's going to be playing the more attacking out of the two of them.
People will want to follow up on why is Deki Kulusevski not assured at the moment?
Because we've got our wingers essentially, or our wide forwards, and they are Son when he's fit, and they're Brennan Johnson. Decky is starting to make a real home for himself more in the centre, or playing behind those front three, and he's doing really well. He's able to get up and down the pitch so much better, and we can from more deeper positions, we can use his pace and his strength to hold up the ball and run with the ball while the other players are moving into the box. So he's unlikely to find himself in those positions for most of the time. His hold up play is so good, and you can give him the ball at left back, and he can carry it up the pitch, shielding it from other players while we get into position. He's so good at that.
The intention seems to be Madison and Kulusevski together now, right? Rather
Yeah,
than one or the other.
yeah.
So if he's not assured of his place, what does that look like for you? Is that like Papsar coming into the team and being a bit more of a defensive shield, or
It depends on who we're playing, in all honesty, James, and what we need. Madison is more likely to start than anybody else. He's pretty much assured. So look, if we're going to play, we're going to play at home to United, who we know we can exploit. Well, let's put a couple of attack-minded players in midfield. If we're going away to City, something like that, I would. expect us to shore up the midfield a little bit more, and then you are going to play Papsar or Rod or someone like that instead, just to give us a bit more strength there.
I don't think that's who we are, mate. I
Well,
think
it's
Ange
not
is
really,
going
is
for it
it?
irrespective of opponent now, mate.
Well, yeah, he is. But when we went 1-0 down to Carrier Bag last week, the first thing, and it was a brilliant move, brought on Papsar just to give that defensive shield. Let the attackers go forward, knowing that there's something stronger. He could have gone in with another attack-minded player, but he didn't. He kind of shored it up a little bit, and I really liked that.
But you
He
also took the youngest player off the pitch rather than, if Kulusevski had started the game rather than Bergvall, he might have come to a different conclusion.
He might have done. We probably knew, and I'm sure that Ange probably knew as well, that Bergvall was never going to play 90 minutes anyway. So with Papsar, you know he's going to run all day and all night. Kulusevski's engine is brilliant. He will run all day and all night as well. So he needed legs on that pitch, and he brought on, say, a little bit of steel in midfield.
He's 90 minutes last 4 games in the league, Kulusevski.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, just to carry it, I wouldn't be too concerned about his place in that team at the moment. I think with the fixtures coming up, the next 5 look quite attractive. I got Tottenham sixth on my ticker over that period, but I think unless there's reasons to be changing it because of personnel reasons, we go to Manchester City afterwards, Ricky, and I think Kulusevski and Maddison will both play in those positions. I don't think Ange gives a shit, mate.
He will go out and he will attack from the start. If we're 4-0 down at half time or we're down to 9 men, and things may change, but I don't think he will ever go into a game with a defensive strategy in mind.
Okay.
Uh,
Sam, what? Go on.
so the next 5 games, because you'll probably ask, I want 15 points out of them next 5 games, and
I
I think
wasn't.
that is entirely doable.
I wasn't going to ask. I'd settle for 13, Ricky. It's not that straightforward.
Well,
Um,
I'll settle for 13 because West Ham always turn up against us, but I think the rest are winnable.
well, I think actually on paper the toughest one might yet be this one this coming Sunday. Actually, what system did you play on Saturday, Sam?
Um, it was back 4, and then we had Weaver, Belieber, and Hinchelwood in the midfield as well. Hinchelwood was sort of just a bit everywhere, almost the more attacking of the 3, but kind of running around, closing down. And then we had Mitoma on the left and Rutter on the right, but sort of floating around with Welbeck up front.
That's what I thought you were going to say, and I'm not seeing a lot of the game, but that's a movement away from what we'd seen in the first 5, right? It really felt like you had this front 4, I think,
Yeah.
with sort of Joao Pedro just off of Welbeck, and then Mitoma and Minter or Dingra kind of high and wide on the other side as well. So that's a change on Saturday. Why do we think that was? Is that strength of opponent? Does that mean you do something similar against Tottenham, do you think?
Yeah, well, my thought before the game was strength for opponent, just to get a little bit more support in midfield. Instead of having that attacking midfielder, second striker, you just get a little bit more defensive and have an extra midfielder in there. But yeah, it's not like we set up defensively or anything. So yeah, I'm not sure what to expect this weekend. I think we'll probably go back to a more more attacking formation like we have seen earlier on the season with maybe Rutter centrally again.
It's worth saying all 4 of them attackers all started at the Emirates in game week 3 as well, mate.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the reasoning. I think it's just Hurzeler maybe finding the best system, trying to get everyone in there, especially trying to get Hinchelwood in there. He tries to get him in there regardless. But we had Weaver and Believer starting as well against Chelsea, which we haven't seen much of this season. So yeah, interesting to see who he starts with against Tottenham.
Okay, what's the latest on Joao Pedro?
Haven't heard much. I did look at the training photos today, and I couldn't see Joao Pedro in any of them. Pedro, Veltman, Adingra, I didn't see. Gruder was there, but Pedro probably. I mean, he'll be a doubt this weekend. It doesn't sound like it's a long-term injury. Thankfully, I think there was a few worries that it would be out for a while, especially the way that injury was and that tackle came in. It's one of them that you could could be out for a while, but it doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, we probably won't play at the weekend. We will hear stuff, hear some information from Hurzeler before the game, and then he's got the international break to hopefully stick around with us and recover and be back after that.
Okay. What would you say to Joao Pedro owners at the moment? We're hanging on.
He's probably fine to keep because he'll miss one more game maybe, and see what Hurzeler said. But he's back down at 5.5 now. I think back where he started. Long term, he's fine. He's our key player. He's very, very important. I think that's clear. We weren't sure before the season whether he'd be rotated, whether these new signings would affect him. I think Hurzeler wants him playing when he's fit. So yeah, he'll be. I mean, not nailed, but he'll be in the team quite a lot.
I mean,
so
Hurzeler said he was like your most important player near enough, didn't he?
Yeah. Pedro and Matoma seem to be two that most likely will start when they're fit, and then you've still got quite a few other positions to rotate around all our other attackers. But yeah. So hopefully we'll be back soon.
Okay. I mean, we mentioned the next five being tough. I mean, Wolves at home in the middle of that, but as a cluster of five, it's rough. But afterwards, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, Palace, West Ham, Brentford. Yeah, we'll be back. That's my take on it at the moment. What about Minter owners though? What should they be doing?
Yeah, he's probably, if you've already got him, yeah, probably looking to move him on. There's a few around that price now that are playing consistently. Minter's been lively. He's a hard worker, which is great. It's a big positive, but his end product, his decision making hasn't been quite there. Which a young winger, new to the league, load of potential, but yeah, there's nothing new or shocking. It's sort of what we expected. We knew he wouldn't be coming in, and he's still very raw, but he's got potential. He'll play. I did think he was our first choice right winger, but in this Chelsea game we had Rutter out there on the right, and I like what I've seen so far from him. So yeah, it becomes another rotation game, and even when Minter does start, he more than likely comes off around the 70-75 as well. So I don't think he's very nailed.
After the Ipswich game, a lot of the Brighton guys on our Slack were saying there's every chance he's not going to play. That was like a big warning. There's every chance he's not going to play against Forest. Adingra played against Forest. I thought he was pretty poor actually, and I like him, but I didn't think he played well against Forest. So then I thought we'd go back to Minter. So we've gone from Minter to Adingra, and then we've gone to Rutter, but changed the system. And I'm sure he wants to be centrally rather than right, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's versatile. He can play anywhere, I think, in that forward line, and he was pretty good out on the right. We've got Adingra out there as well, who, to be fair, deserved his chance against Forest, was it? Yeah. He was great off the bench, and he was great in the cup, but he was very poor when he started on the right-hand side. I think he does prefer the left-hand side. We saw him play on the right quite a lot last season when we needed him to, and we had injuries, but his best position would be on the left. He's injured as well. He's got a knock. Yeah, he wasn't in the squad against Chelsea, and I didn't see him in any of the photos this week. I'm not sure if he'll be fit for this week, but we didn't hear anything about what the injury was. So I'm not too sure there. So yeah, when we've got them all fit and available, I couldn't pick who.
Well, I hope this isn't going to be a reoccurring theme for you here, Sam, because it basically became your season last year.
Yeah. We do have a lot more depth now in these forward areas.
Yes, you do.
Now that Pedro's out, but even hurts to say we don't want to rush him back. We have options, and someone like Jorginho Rutter, you can see why we've got him. He's similar in a way to Pedro, maybe slightly more creative, where Pedro's a better finisher. But I like what I've seen from him so far. Yeah, we've got options. It's not quite like last season, but we do need to keep these players fit. Hopefully, they stay injury free.
Okay, Kadioglu at right back. That's okay, is it? Because I've only seen him play left back.
Yeah, I mean, he played thrown in at Chelsea, wasn't he? And because Veltman was out, he was okay. Didn't really didn't do too much wrong, but it wasn't great. He came on at right wing against Wolves in the Carabao Cup and scored. So again, he's another option in those right wing, centre midfield positions, and yeah, he hasn't played at left back yet for us, but he could play there as well. If Veltman's fit, I think he'll play at right back, but if not, Kadioglu's good enough to play and start at right back.
And is Stupinan safe for minutes going forward or not? I guess if Veltman could come back in right back, Kadioglu's a threat to a
That's it.
Stupinan,
Yeah,
and Hinchwood could play there as well, right?
yeah. No one's safe. Stupinan back. Yeah, he was very shaky in his first game back. Wasn't quite what we were used to with Stupinan. Against Chelsea, he did look a bit sharper, but still getting caught out a little bit. If he can get back to what he was, then he will become nailed. But yeah, we need to see a little bit more from him. In those fullback areas, yeah, we've got options as well. So it's difficult to say. Hopefully, these next few games will give us an idea before going into those green fixtures.
You got any Brighton assets at the moment, Sam?
No, not me.
Ricky?
Yeah, Matoma.
Sam, tell Ricky what to do.
Captain him, I reckon.
Oh, sorry, actually, sorry, Joao Pedro as well. But yeah, forget about him.
Double Brighton attack. I like it. Yeah, it might be too many people.
Yeah, I've got good as well.
You got who?
Verbruggen. I've got all
Verbruggen. So you got treble Brighton.
Well, treble Brighton, yeah, bollocks. Luckily, I'm playing Flecken this week, so.
I love that you just realised.
Oh,
Okay. Who's your other keeper, Ricky? It's going to say it's Flecken, isn't it?
Flecken, yeah.
Right. Sam, I had this set up. Tell Ricky whether he should start Verbruggen at Newcastle in Gameweek 8 or Flecken at Man United.
God. Flecken.
Yeah, it was decided at the word Man United. It was,
Wow.
I heard enough. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Going Flecken this week, are you, Ricky?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Could you not take one for the team here, mate, and stick him in?
Mate, everything I have touched this season has gone totally boss side. So Flecken will concede 5 if I put him in.
That's what I'm saying. Put Verbruggen in here. That's all. Take one for the team.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, but the way of looking at it as well is if I don't, forget about it. Yeah, it's cool. Right, Verbruggen's going in.
Verbruggen is clear number 1, though, isn't he, Sam? Jason still we're not having that shit that we had last year, right?
No,
Jason still. No.
That's one less thing to worry about.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on number 1.
What Tottenham you got at the moment, Sam?
I've got Solanke, and that is it.
Is he a captaincy option this week, Sam?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, Nico, clip that.
Great. Fell right into that one.
I take it you're from a fantasy aspect, you're happy with Dom in there, are you, Sam?
Yeah, he's he'll be sticking around for a while, I think.
Ricky, I'll take it he's in yours.
No, he's not. I took him out when he got injured, and haven't put him back in, unfortunately.
Is there an intention to do so?
I've got other fires at the minute, mate, to be fair. So I look at my team and I'm not happy with quite a lot of it. No. There's a couple of players that maybe need a bit of attention. But yeah, I've got the money in the bank to get rid of almost got the money in the bank to get rid of either Joao Pedro or Vardy to bring in Dominic. I need about 0.2, 0.3. But yeah, at the minute, I don't know whether I'm going to leave my team as it is for 5 weeks and then play a mini wildcard with my transfers or keep on chipping away each week. I'm very undecided at the minute.
Okay. You got no Tottenham then?
I've got Porro still.
Okay. You happy with that?
No, not really. Because he's not playing as advanced as what he was at the start of the season. So at the minute, I am relying on him for clean sheet points, which is never a good thing with Tottenham normally. He's not. I think
there was very nearly a haul on Sunday.
Well, yeah, he there was. In all fairness, look, he did well. Look, he got a clean sheet. The booking annoyed me a little bit because that cost me a point. But yeah, he's not getting as far forward. He's not on as many set pieces as what he was either. So yeah, routes to points for Porro are a bit more restricted at the moment.
I would just add and say he was more advanced on Sunday than he has been in some of the games before that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was an ultra. I know people think Tottenham play the same way every game. Trust me, they don't. I don't know if it was an ultra aggressive tactic because it was Manchester United, but he really was going into them really high central positions again in the first half on Sunday. So I've got Pedro. I'm pretty happy with him at the moment. If people did want to invest in Tottenham over this period, Ricky, is it still pay the extra for him, or can we expect 60-yard runs down the pitch from Mickey van der Ven every week?
No, he's not going to do it every week. But he does pop up with the occasional assist and even a goal. No, if you're going to get a Tottenham defender, it's still got to be Porro. He plays more advanced, even over Udogie. Um, I've never been convinced with Udogie's final ball. Unfortunately, he puts in crosses, but they're not of a higher quality.
Nothing's ever with aerial lift, ever,
No.
ever.
So yeah, if you're gonna go a Tottenham defender, if guns against your head, it's Porro. It's no one really.
Okay, if someone's on wildcard this week and they said, Ricky, I want one Tottenham attacker, who are you telling them?
Attacker,
Yeah.
it's got to be Dom, hasn't it? Really.
So clearly Dom over any of them midfielders. If someone said, I
Yeah,
want one, definitely Dom for you.
yeah. We've got enough players in those forward positions to interchange the likes of Kulusevski and Brennan. Solanke will play when he's fit. Absolutely.
Okay. I might captain Solanke at home to West Ham in game week 8, Ricky. Thoughts?
I don't like the fact that it's West Ham.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, it's their cup final. They always turn up. They always seem to get a result of some sort. But that said, it's normally a game with a few goals in it as well. So I'm certainly not against the idea. I wouldn't put anybody off doing that. Um, just having a quick look. Who else is playing that weekend?
Haaland is one.
I ain't got him, so I don't care about that. Um, to be fair, of the rest of the fixtures, that is probably the standout one.
It might be.
Yeah, Arsenal away at Bournemouth is a good fixture, but
I
I,
think it's Tottenham West Ham. If it was Solanke's playing for Team X and they're playing Team Y and there was a little bit of a rivalry, I probably wouldn't think twice about it. That's the conclusion I'm coming to.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that I 12:30 as well. So you know what Gandhi said,
Oh,
don't you?
yeah, no, never capped. Two rules in my life, mate. I never captain the early player or gamble on the early game. Never do either.
Okay. Gents, good stuff. Thank you both very much. Sam, let's have a correct score prediction from you, mate.
Um, I do hate being negative. I feel like I've been too negative today. We are more than capable of winning, and I know that. I think we will lose 2-1 though.
It's like I can see your eyes going, am I getting ganged up on here? We're not trying to gang up on you, Sam. That's interesting. Okay, Ricky.
Well, I was thinking 2-1 myself. I don't want to be a copycat, so I'm going to predict the rarest of rare things and say a 2-0 Tottenham clean sheet.
My God. Yeah, what I was thinking before you opened your trap, you idiot. I was thinking, Sam's even said we're going to win. We could just take this easy and say, no, I think we're going to win as well. Sam said it's all right. But you had to go the extra mile, didn't you? I'm not happy with Porro, but I suppose you're benching Porro this week, are
Actually, do you know what? Funnily, you say that. Currently, he is on my bench.
you? Right, sort it out, Ricky.
Well, I've got Trent, Gabriel, and Rico Lewis, so I'm struggling to find a place for
Oh,
him.
come on. There must be someone else to drop instead of Pedro.
Well, yeah, to be fair, Matoma is looking quite tasty to get rid of at the moment.
Oh, we can't bench Matoma, can he, Sam?
No, I'll keep him in
To
there.
be fair, it will be more than likely Eze will make way because he's obviously Liverpool and he's done feck all for me since I signed him. So,
I think I'd play Eze over Porro, though, mate.
well, that's what I'm doing at the minute. You're telling me I'm wrong.
How are you ranked so bad? You must have a great team.
Look, the team's not bad in all honesty. Look, I'll give you some of my potted highlights, all right, of how it's gone wrong for me so far this
Go on
week.
then. Make everyone laugh.
Right, I started off in my opening squad: Solanke, Foden, Nkunku, Barco, and Kwanzaa. So these are all players that either got injured or weren't getting starts. So, okay, I dealt with that until game
Ever
week.
did this thing we do called correspondent week.
Yeah, and Nkunku was rammed down my throat. So was Barco. So was Kwanzaa. I knew Solanke would be good. He just got injured. Foden's Foden. You know, why wouldn't you? But anyway, no problem at all. I've got a wild card. I'll play it. I'll fix everything. So in comes Joao Pedro, brilliant. In comes De Bruyne, brilliant. In comes Wissa, brilliant. Everyone I've signed has just got injured. It's been awful,
It's not your
absolutely.
fault, Ricky.
Well, it's not my fault, but I'm picking these bloody idiots, aren't I?
You can't mitigate for injuries, can you? I mean,
No.
it does sound like you've been a bit unlucky there, mate. Long, long, long way to go. What, 32 game weeks or so. Right, I've avoided it enough. Yeah, I think Sam. I think the Jan Paul Van Heck absence is big, as I said on Monday. If you're saying it looks like Joao Pedro's probably not going to make it as well, I think yeah, it probably does tip it in our balance. Confidence, touch wood, nothing goes wrong for us in Hungary on Thursday night. The confidence is going to be flying, I think, at this stage. Real self-belief. I do agree with Ricky's point. I think the game is more dangerous than Sunday. I think you've got a structure. You might come up with something that either stops us or really hurts us. But yeah, 2-1 to us sounds about right. With the caveat that I could visualize a scenario where it's double that and it's like 4-2 or something.
It's been an interesting one, I think.
It should be a great game for the neutrals to watch. That is the 4:30 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Sam, anything else you want to plug, mate?
FPL Seagull on Twitter, X.
Good man. Don't forget to give me a wave on Sunday, mate.
Will do.
Ricky, anything you want to plug?
No, not really. I am Ricky.
Saunders.
Ricky Saunders
That's your name.
777
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Twitter. I don't really. I'm not as active on there as what I probably could be. But you will get the odd gem from me from time to time.
Good stuff, particularly digging out Arsenal. Well done, mate.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you both very much, gents. I'll be streaming on Friday, 2 p.m. UK time is the plan for Arse James. There are 3 Clash of the Correspondents scheduled for during the international break, starting with Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace next Tuesday with Mark Southerns, Rory McLaughlin Dowd. Also got Fulham and Aston Villa for you. The LJ Derby with Lewis James and Lee Jackson next Thursday. And the following Thursday, we also have Wolves versus Manchester City for you with Bradley Parker and Johnny Pringle. Just sees me to say thanks again so much to Sam and Ricky. Good luck, gents. Ricky, say it, please, pal.
Come on, Tottenham.
Cue music, please, man child.